Well, I was drunk the day Mom got out of prison, and I went to pick her up in the pouring rain. But before I could get to the station in my pickup truck, she got run over by a darn old train. Well, I'll stick around as long as you will let me. That was, you got a little you got a little rusty there in the middle. Pretty much always rusty. If you know that song, well, yep, you're pretty cool. Checking in here live. Well, it's recorded, right, Bart? Yeah, it's recorded live. September 14th, 2023 on the Mayan calendar. It is 10:25 a.m. on a Thursday. We got Thursday. Big expirations going on tomorrow. Third Friday of the month. That is the biggest action that we're going to find on the options. And I've got a big day tomorrow. 109 contracts. What, are you crazy? Little bit. 109 contracts expiring tomorrow, but I wanted to show you what's been going on. What's going on? Already have some action going today because, first of all, I woke up and Robinhood was like, hey, some jackwagon just assigned you 100 shares of Clean Spark. So got assigned 100 shares. I had 5 put contracts, so essentially 500 shares on the board for Clean Spark, which is a crypto miner, and currently trading at what? Where you got that Clean Spark at? It's up here somewhere out of the 7,000 tabs I have opened over here on the Big Mac. Clean Spark, hey, they're up almost 9% today. So fine, give me the shares. I'll take them. And I think I own 600 shares now, including, I think I have 600, including that 100. So Clean Spark currently trading at $4.70. So, for it, I guess it's nowhere near the $5 mark. But I was like, hey, you're going to give me those shares? I'll go ahead and trade those along with the shares I bought yesterday of Clean Spark. And I sold $5 strike calls on Clean Spark, and it's a monthly. I prefer weeklies on all of these options, but if it's the right company, then why not? So I did have 4 contracts at $5 strike, expiring October 20th. $180 bills collected for that. And then I went ahead and rolled the puts that I had remaining outside of the 100 shares that were assigned to me. So that left me with 4 contracts, rolled those at $5 strike out a month as well for $148. And then Netflix, this trade I put on yesterday, if we look up to yesterday, September 13th, I have, Netflix was like going downtown to Chinatown, and I thought it was on just essentially some weak information, which was, hey, our ad revenue on our new ad service isn't as robust as we thought at this point. And the market was like, oh dear God, we better sell off. So I sold a put contract at 407.50 strike, collected $134. And then today, Netflix is still making its way like a slinky down the stairs at 405.11 currently. So I was like, hey, wait a minute, better do something with that now, because Netflix, in my honest and accurate opinion, will likely have a little bump tomorrow into the green. So I rolled it out and down, rolled it down to 400. So essentially saving myself $750 in case it is assigned to me eventually. 1 contract, 1 week out, and they even paid me $41 for doing so. And then yesterday, PBF Energy, I bought 100 shares, $53.44 a share, and then it's up today. Where are you at, PBF? It is up. Currently, it is at, click on it. If we click on that, it's at 54.82 as we speak. So I said, hey, let's go ahead, and it's another monthly, but I really like the cut of its jib, and I'll show you how I even stumbled upon it. So I sold a 55 call, okay? bought for 53.44, sold a 55 call, which will likely, if I leave this trade on, they'll likely be assigned because I feel very strongly that PBF Energy will be above 55 by October 20th, and they paid me $270 on a 55 strike, 36-day trade. I did quick math on that. It was 51% annualized. So I got that going for me. And we can go to the board because what I'll do after tomorrow or on Saturday, of course, it probably won't be Saturday because we're going down to see Coco again. It is Dad's Day at the sorority, and there's a football game at night. So we will be in West Lafayette on Saturday. So maybe tomorrow after the market closes, I'll give a full week's update and see how we did on the trades. But let's first discuss how I found PBF Energy. So what I like to do is look around to see what the smart people are doing, because most everyone in this business is smarter than I. So I was over here on the seekingalpha.com, looking at, what was it? Top oil and gas refining and marketing stocks, because, I'm a little sad, just a little sad that I've let some of my energy stocks go, because I may be completely wrong. I told you probably 2 months ago that I felt that oil was going to 100, but I also thought there might be a little dip prior. So I let a couple positions go. ExxonMobil, I shared that with you, I think it was last week or maybe over the weekend, how we did on that trade, because I entered it at 111, exited it at 111, and battled it all the way in between and made some dollar bills. But I let it go at 111, and Exxon is currently at what? Let's go to the Exxon. They're like at maybe 115, 116. So I left some dough on the board. Oh my gosh, 118. I see the little tear trickle down my face. So I exited Exxon too soon because I was expecting a little bit of a pullback before oil rocketed up to 100, but it appears that that's not happening. So how I found PBF was over here just on Seeking Alpha, let them do the work. I went to the board and I said, okay, what looks cool and what has an A valuation? So that's what the criteria was. Based on this list, I was looking at what's in the green. Okay, this is, if you average those three, that's in the green. And what would be an A in the A rating as far as valuation? And in the number 3 on the board was PBF. And then I thought, well, how do the options look on that? And they looked really, really good, as I just showed you by collecting, and I think I sold some puts. Yeah. So I sold one put yesterday at 50, collected $125, and then sold one call today at 55 for 270. So I've got that surrounded with a put and a call. That's how I found PBF. So, like, for instance, how I found Palantir was from this guy, Dan Ives. He comes on CNBC a lot, and I like certain shows on CNBC. And I just like the cut of his jib, and he is a tech guy, so he talks tech. I listen. In this entire video here, from how long? 1 month ago, Dan Ives was on Tom Nash's YouTube channel. This guy's kind of fun too, Tom Nash. And I've watched this video like 3 times. So that's what got me onto Palantir. And then, like, for instance, so if we go back and look at CleanSpark, right? How I found CleanSpark was through Riot. How I found Riot was through TJ, the Wheel Deal. TJ, the Wheel Deal. If you are not subscribed to and watching this guy's channel, it's a must, because it's way better than my channel, and he knows a lot more than I do. So I've been enjoying his channel immensely, and he put me onto Riot because I was like, Riot, that's a cool ticker symbol because it reminds me of Quiet Riot. Come on, feel the noise. And I told you the story how I went to see Quiet Riot at a little dive bar in this little dive town called South Haven, Indiana. Not South Haven, Michigan. South Haven, Indiana has a Valparaiso address, but we considered its own little town because it's way different than my Valparaiso. Anyway, saw Quiet Riot there on the stage, like where all the 4 band members were essentially touching each other. The stage was so small, and they rocked our face off. So I found Riot from TJ the Wheel Deal, and in investigating and researching Riot, I stumbled upon CleanSpark. So I'm currently trading both of them. So that's how I find a lot of these companies to trade. And then another thing I do, essentially, the first thing I do before market opens. So my routine is I wake up, I go to the old couch, pet the dog, kiss the wife, high five the son as he's getting ready for school. I listen to Wall Street Breakfast, which is a Seeking Alpha podcast. Okay, that's probably the very first thing I do, like while I'm brushing my teeth, taking out my plastic retainers. What? How old are you? I got braces as an adult. So one of the things they said was, wear these retainers. I have not missed a single day. I am undefeated wearing the plastic retainers. And I had the braces came off on September 14th, 2014. So it's almost been a decade. See those? They're not shiny because of all the 29 years of chewing tobacco that I did. But I also quit that in June of 2014 was the chewing tobacco. That's a whole other story. Getting off topic. Where were you? Yeah, the routine. So I listen to Wall Street Breakfast on Seeking Alpha. Then I go to finance.yahoo.com, and I like to see just across the board. So you see these right here: S&P 500, Dow 30, NASDAQ, Russell, and crude. In the morning, before the market opens, it'll show you futures, like what is going on before the market opens when all the real Wall Streeters are still trading and manipulating us. So I'll look at that and say, hey, looks pretty good here. Things are going on. Then I'll type in different ticker symbols that I'm going to be looking at during the day. So if I see energy is up, how do my sweethearts look? Devon Energy, Valero, and now PBF. How do they look? And then also, what trades do I have on the board that I'm concerned with? Like UPS currently on the board that I'm concerned with. Smuckers, SJM, those things I research prior to the market opening. And then let's get this off here, because for some reason, when I have it open too long, this tab on this particular MacBook Air, my fan kicks on. So turn that off. Then I go to bar chart, okay, barchart.com, and I'll click on stocks and then stock market overview and then full list. Click on full list, and the first thing it'll show you is based on price volume leaders. Okay, so always at the top of the board, you're going to see the same names: Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, AMD, Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, Visa. If there's names that you don't normally see on the board at the top, then you investigate, or at least I do. Okay, so then when I'm thinking about, I look at these, what positions do I have on these? So for instance, I have a 250 Tesla call, and Tesla is currently trading at 274.66. So that's going to be probably difficult to roll 1 week. I'm going to have to roll out because it's so far in the money. But I bought those 100 shares at like 248. So if it gets called away at 250, I'm okay with it. Nvidia, I have a put contract on the board at 435. So seeing that it's green today after like 4 or 5 days in a row of it being red, I'm like, I'm happy. Kooky. I'm happy with that. Apple, same thing. I got a 175 call. No, I have a 175 put on the board, and it was trading yesterday under the 175. So currently doing good there. I have a 136 Amazon call, and this thing has just been moonshotting it. So I might not be able to roll that to a decent return. So I'll have to keep that in mind. And then so on and so forth. So then what I'll do, I'll click on percentage of change, and I'll go to the red side. Okay. So the first thing is going to be percentage of change green, Carvana. Some people like trading Carvana. I've never touched it. I just think I love the idea. I mean, when I sold I bought a brand new 2021 Mustang Mach 1 jet fighter jet gray with orange accents, 6-speed manual transmission. It was a darling of a car. And I remember we were in Saugatuck. There was 8 of us in Saugatuck. I was half in the bag, and I found one in Detroit because I couldn't find one anywhere. I found one in Detroit, contacted them, and they would sell it to me at sticker, because this is when cars were going above sticker. Because just in my local Ford here in Valparaiso on Route 30, Curry Ford, shame on you, they had one in the showroom that I went, looked at, and I said, I'll take it. And then I looked on the other side where the window sticker was, and they were only adding 10,000 onto the MSRP. And I was like, I'll give you sticker today. And they're like, sorry, Charlie. So I started looking around, couldn't find one, found one in Detroit, Michigan. And they said they would sell it to me at sticker, and they would transport it to my house for like $400. I was like, I'm in. I am in. And I remember I was at a closing. I bought it. This is how wacky some markets get. I was at a closing. Okay. I bought a 4-unit property at 11 a.m. and then I sold it at noon. True. This is true. Drum roll, please. I bought it for $115,000 at 11, and I sold it for $160 at noon. That's how crazy the market was in 2021. And then they text me and said, we're at your house. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, get this closing over with. So left the closing, sped home, and there was my sweetheart Mustang Mach 1. I drove it for a year. I bought it for $58,000 and change. I got there because there was some wet signatures they still needed, so they hung around for me. Signed with the wet signatures, and then the young lady that was kind enough to sell it to me at sticker price, she told me how she got in trouble by the owner because they were supposed to raise it they were going to add 5,000 onto the sticker price. So I thought I basically got a steal, in my opinion. So 58,000 and change, drove it for a year. Now listen closely. Drove it for a year. Then I'm like, I don't like storing this car, because I had to store that in my ice baby 1991 Mustang GT convertible, white with red interior, sitting in the garage as we speak. I stored both of those cars, and I still, of course, store the GT. And I was like, this is too many cars. So I went on Carvana, and they made me an offer of like $57,000 for the car. And I was like, I only paid 58 and change, and I drove it for a year. But before I sell it to you, let me check some other places. So this is a long story. It's kind of fun though. Well, you could look through this while I tell the story. Look through that real slow. By the way, we're at all-time high, 1,762. All-time high. All of these, I got 109 contracts expiring tomorrow, so I know you think I'm kooky. So I did check with one of the local dealers, and they said, and it was like a Nissan dealer, and they're like, we'll take it. We'll give you 60 for it. I'm like, wait a minute. So I drove it over there, and they looked at the car, took it out, test drove it. Then the owner of that particular dealership like called the salesman who told me they'd give me 60, called him up, and they had a meeting. He came back to me all sad and said, but he was on the phone. So he's like, hey, I can't, the owner of this dealership says I can't give you 60, but I have my buddy on the phone from a Ford dealership in Chesterton. I'm like, hey, I live by Chesterton. He said he'll give you 60. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell him I'm going to drive over right now. I still remember it was in the rain, and I would have never driven that car in the rain. Plus, it doesn't handle well in the rain. It had like racing slicks on it, some high performance tires. So I drove it over there to the dealership, Ford dealership in Chesterton. We get there, and this guy was a Mustang guy. So he looks at it, he drives it, he comes back in, eyes are wide open, smiling from ear to ear. He goes, I want the car. Now, see, he had told his buddy he'd give me 60, and I was fine with 60. And he says, I want the car. How much do you want for it? So see, in my mind, I thought he had already known that it was 60. So I said 62. And he says, puts his hand out. He goes, deal. So I bought it for 58 and change, drove it for a year, and then sold it for 62. So when markets are wild, they're wild. Any where did that story come from? I'm not sure, but here we are now looking at what we have on the board. Okay, so let's do it and pay attention this time, Bart. All right, let's check on these options. So there's our Apple we talked about, the 175 put. So we'll have to roll that if it's not going to expire at full profit. Albemarle doing good. We're at 86% profit. Albemarle has been just kind of going back up and down. Do I have it on the big board still or no? I don't know. You got 30. There it is. Albemarle. Yeah, it's doing good today. Been bouncing up and down. I thought I did well at the 177.50, and it looks like that's going to be true. This Amazon call is saying I'm 163% in the negative, but it's true. It is on this trade I'm in the negative. So if I wanted to close it, I'd have to pay, between $855 and $865 to close the trade. But my question is, can I roll it and still, make it worth my while on the whatever I have into this? It's like $13,300 and some dollars, because I bought these at 133 and change, and I have the 136 on the board, but Amazon's trading at 144.55. Hello. So if we went out a week and we looked at what can I do to cover the 860? So I get an 860 debit to cover, and I'd be able to trade it again at the 136, but it'd be 35 or 33. Let's call it $33, right? So it'd be like $33 divided by, let's say, 13,500. Wait, no, it's 13,003. Let's call it 50. We'll check it in a second what I actually have into this stock. So 13,350, and then we would divide it by the 7 days we've added to the trade, and then multiply it by the 365. So it's only at 12.8 on the percentage. Now, if this was a company that paid me a dividend, then I would be like, hey, I might certainly consider that. But Amazon, moves up and down. I think 144 might be a little too high right now. I might be completely wrong. I don't know. But if we go out another week, so can we go out another week and see if there's any more action that can be had at 136? So, or can we trade it up another buck? So we're getting close to being able to add another $100 on the appreciation side from going to 136 strike to 137. We got to go back and take that one off the board. Let me take that off the board. Yes. By the way, September 22nd, that'll be my brother's birthday next week. Little birthday bonfire at his house, annual celebration. So let's go back to the 136 and just see what that number is. So roughly $75, right? Let's call it 80. Let's even be optimistic. $80 on the 133.50, we'll call it. Now we're adding $14 or 14 days to the trade, right? Then we multiply it by 365, and now we're at 15.6. I'll take 15.6 all day, but will I take it on Amazon? That I haven't decided yet. So we'll keep an eye on Amazon and what we're going to do with that call. And we'll also check to see exactly what I paid for it. I don't know why it's currently flashing in my head at 133.68. Let's just see. What are we into this for? 133.79. You were wrong twice because you kept putting 133.50 in on the math. So the math would be even worse because I did pay a little bit more than I thought. 29 cents more, 133.79. So does it break my heart if we have to let it go at 136? No, because I'll get the share appreciation and the 2 times that I have premium on it, which is what? It's not a ton of dough, but it's still dough to the Ray to the me. So we have, there's puts on there too. So let's just see though. So we rolled that last one and only collected $5 or $6, but we did roll it up another buck, maybe 2. I don't know. So we sold the original call at 119. So we collected $119 there. We rolled it for 94 there, and then we rolled it again for 65 here, and then $6 there. So we got some dough going on. So overall, that's going to be very nice. We got the British American tobacco 33s. It was in the money all week. And it is again. So 33.72. I don't really want to let those shares go. I did buy these particular shares. So if we look at what I'm into BTI total, it's 32.66 on our 700 shares total. But I know I bought those particular 200 shares, or how many shares is that? Yeah, 200 shares. I bought those even lower than that basis. So we'll roll that. I don't want to let those go. I love the dividend. Doesn't collect a bunch of premium. If you've traded that, you know that. These calls are good currently, but under pressure. We have the Colgate at 97% profit. Colgate's, I'm into that for $75, and it's trading at what, 73 and change? No, not even that. 72.95. Who's calling me? I'm busy. The Clean Spark calls are just fine. We'll probably roll those tomorrow. We could roll them today because Clean Spark is up real nice. So we'll consider that. We've got CRISPR, $51 calls. Doing pretty good, 62.90. I know CRISPR was what? It bounced back from yesterday because we did. Nope, that's Canadian. Oh, Canadian Solar looking very nice. Where you at, CRISPR? Crispy. Where is that crispy critter? There it is. It is currently up 2.35% because yesterday it was downtown to Chinatown. And did I put on a CRISPR trade yesterday? Yes. Three $47 puts expiring next Friday. So collected $90 for those. So yesterday was on paper a good day to sell some puts on CRISPR. And we're still protected on the $51 call because we're in the CRISPR for $47.50, I think, on those shares. Canadian Solar looking good. And this is one where, again, going back to TJ, the wheel deal, he put me on an in phase, and then in phase led me to Canadian Solar. Hello. So we got that going for us. Double Dog Dare You. That was a short trade. We put that on yesterday, $97 put contract, just one of those contracts, collected $64, and it's above 97, but not much. So it is down again today, and it's currently sitting at 97.37. So we'll be watching Data Dog, or AKA Double Dog Dare You. This is the defense ETF. It's a 3 times bull ETF on the defense stocks, currently not doing well, down 70%. But I collected a ton of premium on a $17 asset. So it's currently at $16.51. Collected $124 on 4 contracts on a $17 stock. Excuse me one moment. I know you're in there. There it is. Oh, there, blew my back out doing that. Remember the time Sammy Sosa, he sneezed before a game one day back in the Sammy Sosa era of my beloved Cubs, and just kind of blew his back out. I've done it before, Sammy, so people were making fun of you, but I get you. So if we rolled this position now, there's looks like a huge gap in the bid and the ask. So see, we could roll it. Oh, it's another month. We could roll it out a month and make a couple bucks, but we could roll it out a month and make a lot of bucks right there. So what we'll do, though, is we'll keep an eye on that through tomorrow. Let the theta decay some more on this side of the trade, and then consider and likely roll that tomorrow. Devon Energy, I bought like 300 more shares this week. And if you watched my video yesterday, it was basically a comparison between in trading options on an asset like Devon Energy compared to what would be a typical scenario on a rental home. Although my wife just said we were at We did our Thursday morning trip to Meyer. How old are you guys? We're old and we're semi-retired. She's like, I think I want to look for a flip, or should we get another rental? I go, what? Another rental? We were just jumping for joy by eliminating a bunch of the tenants that we've had. But yes, I'll favor another flip. So be on the lookout for another flip. We'll be doing that. But Devon Energy, $53 calls. I thought I was going to be under pressure, but like today is ex-dividend date on Devon. That's why I bought 300 more shares, and I thought it was trading, and it's currently, I think it's trading below its value. I'm looking at it right now on the big board. It's trading at 50.46, and that was one of my entry points this week. Just went to 50.45. One of the reasons is because it is ex-dividend date. So it typically, what I've found in my vast experience of trading options is that on ex-dividend date on dividend-paying stocks, it'll typically go down equal to or maybe even more for what they're going to pay. And one of the sneaky things about I could take this off the board and go straight to Devon. One of the sneaky things about Devon Energy is this. Let me show you. Let me just tell you something. And let's see. Let's go to dividends. Okay. First, let's see at the ratings. Come on, Elon, crank up that satellite internet. So it's coming, I promise you. So there's the ratings coming up. So the analysts have it as a buy. Wall Street has it as a buy. And then the quants, the propeller heads have it as a hold. I have it as a buy at 50.46. I'm good with it. And here's one of the reasons. So if we go to dividends, what it's going to show you is a little misleading. It's going to show you a dividend yield at 158. And the reason for that is it's based on the fixed dividend. So we go ex-dividend today, right? So now I have 1,600 shares. So let's get the abacus up. Okay, 1,600 shares times. Now, I'm not going to, don't you just times it by the 0.2? Because that's what you're going to receive on which date? When are they going to pay me? We'll have to go to the board. No, it's right there. At the end of September, they're going to pay me, right, for owning those 1,600 shares. Now, is it going to be 20 cents per? No, not so fast. Let's go to dividend history, okay? Devon loves to return money to shareholders, and how they do that is a fixed dividend plus a special, okay? So if we look at the special, it is 29 cents. So I'm going to get 29 cents plus 20 cents, and according to my lame brain math, that's 49 cents. So I'm going to multiply that by 49 cents, and I'm going to collect $784 at the end of the month. And you know how I do. Soon as dividend goes green again, which will be very soon as tomorrow, it will be green tomorrow unless something crazy happens with the price of crude oil, which has only been going up, as you know, if you follow it like I do. So I'll collect that fat dividend at the end of the month, and tomorrow we'll likely roll those options and adding 3 more contracts to this trade because we now have 16 contracts to trade. Hello. And this is currently at 95% profit, but we'll let it keep going because tomorrow it'll be, as I said, it'll be green. Here's Enphase, which TJ the Wheel Deal got me onto. I have 4 115 puts on the board. We're at 96% profit because Enphase earlier in the week was downtown to Chinatown. What are they at today? Where are you at? There you are. Oh boy, it's rocketing today. It's up 2.6% over $3. So I traded it yesterday also. So I put this particular trade on when? When did you do it? I may have rolled it. I'll have to check the board, the trade. I have to check the trade log because I keep a paper one, which I'm sure will not surprise you, right? So here's the paper log. Hello. It helps my process, right? To see it, to think it, to write it, and then to put it in my spreadsheet. That helps my process. Because I trade so many positions, I like to make, a lot of trades, but not big bangers. So, as far as I'm not putting 100 contracts up on one particular asset. Enphase 96% profit. Gilead, 94% profit. Not that I'm happy about that because I'm into Gilead for $79 a share. And it's at what, 76 or less? So 77.50 up 1.24% today. So I am happy with that. And I hope that momentum continues through tomorrow so that I can get some nice action rolling the position. If we rolled it now, we'd have only 3 cents to cover. We can go a week at the same strike because, I just want to set it and forget it, which would be protecting my entry price of 79 a share. So we roll that today because, Gilead, oh boy, could be down tomorrow. We know that, how it likes to trade. But it is a expiration. It's just a expiration Friday. Tomorrow, it's a big one because it's the monthly. I mean, we could collect $100. Whoa, 95. We could put 100 on the board, right? Let's see if we can do, let's put 20. Yeah, we can get 20 right now, bro. What about 21? Let's just put 21 on the board and then see if it'll fill today. It could fill right now because I'll take another $105 bills. You know what I'm saying? So we'll put it on the board and then we'll just leave it for now and then see what we have to do. Did it fill or go to the pending? It, drum roll please, it went to the pending. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's on the pending board. Mm-hmm. Why do I feel like we didn't do Canadian solar? It's because you're so easily distracted. How long is this video? Not going anywhere for a while. Grab yourself a Snickers and relax because, we're becoming best friends in stocks, options, and dividends. $26 puts are good. $25 puts are even better. So what we'll do on this is what I would do in this scenario, because we'll likely just let it ride for tomorrow because I don't think I could do 1 cent. Can I do 1 centers? Like if I put 1 cent on the board, how many of those? 4 contracts. Can I close it, right, for $4 and then release 10 grand? Yeah, see, I have to pay 5 per because it only trades in 5-cent increments. Come on, Robin Hood. Go to edit. Let's just get out of that action. So we'll let that ride out into the sunset because I'm not going to pay $5 per for something that's going to likely expire at full profit. But right now, Canadian Solar doing good. Both of those 8 contracts, 26s and 25s. Canadian Solar currently at, go to the big board, 27.96. It even got up over $28 today. So that's very nice. We talked about Double Dog Dare You, Defend, Devon, End Phrase. Okay, here we are with Johnson & Johnson. So this might be one. So can we close it for $1, right? It's only 1 contract, but it's holding up what? $15,750. So if we put $1 on the board to buy it to close, so it will cost me $1 to release $15,750. Now it did. So let me write that on my little cheat sheet here. -1 J and J. And here's in my goofy mind why I do that. So, it's $1, right? But it released $15,750 that will now begin collecting for just sitting on the sidelines. It's going to collect 4.9% interest. So $15,750. And essentially it's 2 days early. So if I let it ride out to expiration, I wouldn't get interest for 2 days, 2 more days that we are gaining now. So if we do the math and we multiply by 0.049, right, that would be $771.75 for an entire year. So we divide it by 365 multiplied by 2, and it's $4.22 minus $1. So it's $3.22 that we're going to be up for buying that trade closed. So there's that. We got that going for us. And I could use that $3.22. It's true for a number of reasons. 2 girls in school, costing me dollar bills. Kid 3 is going to have his license. He don't even have a license, Lisa. If you know that line, you're even cooler than I thought. I laugh. I shouldn't even tell you this story. I won't. Yeah, I'll tell it to you now since we're friends and we're already like 12 hours into this. I think I've told you about Billy before. So we had this. I've had this legendary friend in high school named Billy Nevers. The local energy company is called NIPSCO. His dad was the president of NIPSCO during our time in like junior high and high school. His parents left. It seriously felt like every weekend they would leave town. They had a nice boat. They had, I think, a lake house, whatever. And so Billy, once he got into high school, he would stay home and then we would all come over. And they had this big bar. Hey, edit that out. You weren't drinking in high school, right? I wasn't. So they had this big bar, and Billy was just a legendary character. Character is a huge word. So then he goes to Purdue, gets an engineering degree, and then disappears. Well, it turns out he went to Chicago, got a job in Chicago downtown, has lived there ever since, bought a building like in the Gold Coast there, I think on Michigan Avenue. He has a building that he owns on Michigan Avenue, lives like in the penthouse, and then has, some retail and some things on the main floor. And none of us seriously had seen him since. So I'm out with some friends I'm out with Sparkle Barbie and some friends. I may have told you this story before, so I'll try to make it quick. It was in Chesterton, Indiana, and my 30-year reunion, high school reunion, was going on literally down the road. My wife posts a picture of us at like dinner with these friends, having a nice glass of wine. Hey, how's your wine? And one of my buddies, Tommy Tuna, commented immediately on that Facebook post and said, really? Bart's 30-year high school reunion is down the road and you guys aren't here. Well, I know you don't believe it, but it's true. I'm an introvert, an actual introvert by nature, but I'm also what's called an outgoing introvert. So put a glass or two of wine in me and look out, or a couple of ice cold beers they call Miller Lite. So I'm like, I guess, I'm a little buzzed now, so let's go down there. So we come busting in, and the first person I see is Billy Nevers. Now, he was like built like a huge power lifter now, because apparently he's been lifting weights all this time. He picks me up like I'm a teddy bear, like a floppy, skinny teddy bear, shakes me around. It was like a long embrace because we hadn't seen each other in I had seen him in our college days. So it'd been 25 years since I had seen him. One of my best friends in high school. And we just start just gushing over each other. And then one of the things he says is, I don't know how it came out, but he's like, he don't even have a license, Lisa. And he says to my wife, I have been saying that since middle school because of your husband, Bart, because we used to have these movie fests in middle school. And one of the movies we'd watch over and over again was, if you know which movie based on that line, leave it in the comments below. So why'd you tell that story? I don't know, because that line reminded me. That's why. So the story that I started with was Kid 3 will have his driver's license in February. So I got to get him a car. These spoiled kids out here in the Gold Coast of Valparaiso. Plus, it helps me. Then I don't have to drive him around everywhere. So my thought is, I just might, because the one of the things that we've promised each kid is you go to college, and if you get a degree in 4 years, we'll buy you a brand new car that you can then keep for 10 or 15 years if you are being smart. So Maya is easily on pace to graduate in 4 years. So I'm going to need to get her a new car. And poor Madison, kid 1, I told you what she did. She went out down to Purdue first semester, and first semester did great. Second semester, she did what I did. I did it in the first semester though. A+ in keg stands, not so great in the others. Then she took a year and a half off, thought she was going to get in the real estate, and now she's back in school. So she's not going to meet the 4-year deadline. Sorry, Charlie, that's the rules. So I'll need to get Maya a new car and Deuce a car, aka Bart II. aka kid 3. So I was thinking maybe I'll give my newer car. I bought a 2021 Mazda CX-5, which is essentially one of the greatest cars ever made. Me and my wife each have one. Maybe I'll give her my 2021 now or before winter, or once kid 3 gets his license, but I'd prefer to give it to her earlier than later because she's doing student teaching as part of her degree, because she's wanted to be an English teacher since she's in second grade. I know, right? So maybe I'll give her the car early, so because she has to drive like an hour each way for her student teaching, which is, come on, Purdue. Like to have her driving a newer car because she commandeered my 2008 Jeep Grand Cherokee that I would still be driving if my wife didn't give it to her in the summer. Maybe I'll take that car back, give that to kid 3 because it drives well. I don't know why I said it. I wouldn't want her to drive the Jeep in the winter, but just because it's older and has like over 150,000 miles on it. Give that to kid 3 because, all he'll be doing is driving back and forth to practice, school, and the gym and guitar lesson. Hopefully that's it. And then maybe I'll get a Tesla. You've been talking about it forever. Well, I've never talked about it on this channel, but I have been talking about it forever. And I was just building one yesterday, Model Y, performance package, $12,000 self-driving option. I'm not going to get a Tesla and not have it drive me around like a chauffeur. I may even sit in the back seat. Tezzy, drive me to Myers, please. So I might do that. I built it all up and it was $69,000, and then I'll have a $7,500 credit from my taxes. And then I was telling Sparkle, and she's like, here's how she is. Whatever I say, bring up to her, she's like, yeah, just do it. She's so sweet. And I'm the opposite. She'll bring something up, I'm like, no, we're not doing that. But I was thinking, I clicked on like if you financed it, because I have zero debt in life. Zero. I owe nobody nothing, as they would say. I have no debt. But I was thinking, would it be fun, like not only stick it to the man by not having to buy gas for that anymore or oil for oil changes? What if I did finance it, but I had Elon Musk pay for it? Now, how would you do that, Bart? Well, what I would do is I would trade Tesla options, and with the premium, I would pay the monthly payment. That's how my psychotic mind works. But anyway, I might be sharing that with you soon. We'll see. What else you got on the board? You've been talking for like 60,000 minutes. So Johnson & Johnson now off the board, but we do have the call on the board at 162.50. It's underwater, right? Because Johnson & Johnson is above that. Yeah, it's at 164.29. So we'll roll that tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll roll it if and only if the premium is very nice. And look, our Gilead's still on the board, so we'll see what we want to do with that. Back down here, Johnson & Johnson, we'll have to roll that. This is likely in the money as well. L3 Harris, where are you at? Oh, it's at 170.11, so we'll keep an eye on that. What could we roll it for now? Could we roll it? I wanted to roll it up. Oh, yeah, it's a monthly, so I'll for sure want to roll it up. Out and up. Yeah, we could easily roll that to 175 and make some dollar bills. See? You want to do it? What could we collect? 130? We'll watch it tomorrow. So I'm going to make a note of it, though. So that'd be 130 would be the net on a roll, right, of L3 Harris, which is ticker LHX. So I'll remind you of that tomorrow just to make sure that we are indeed going to be able to collect more tomorrow. Now, if it goes down in the meantime, likely we will just let it go, let that call right into the sunset and then wait for a green day. Microvast, $2 puts, 10 contracts of those, just fine. It's a little volatile. When I researched it, I liked what I saw, especially at $2, and it's not much higher than that now. It's trading at what, 214, but it says I'm at 90% profit. And look, I collected $100 to trade those 10 contracts. So if we rolled it now, it is green, but it is a monthly. So we'll likely, if it continues to be above $2, we'll let that go into the sunset. Unless it is down tomorrow, then we'll roll it. Otherwise, we'll let it expire at full profit and then look to re-enter on a red day. There's our NVIDIA we talked about. It's at 93% profit. Oracle 103 puts. We traded that on the day that it really was taking a beating. So those are at 97%. I'll do math on that in a minute off camera because I've taken up so much of your time to see if is it worthwhile to close it now and then get all my cash back, because that's over $30,000 in cash, and collect interest, or put it back to work at a higher multiple premium. We'll look at that. Penn, this is the company. It's a gambling company. But they also just inked a deal with ESPN to create ESPN Bet, which will be a betting app. And I think betting is huge. Gambling is huge. I use DraftKings, and I bet every week during the football season, and I make several bets during the baseball season, but little baby bets that my wife makes fun of me for. But that's how I like to gamble on sports, is baby bets. Just kind of like how I like to trade options with baby bets. There's 950 Quiet Riot, 10 of those, 77% profit. Starbucks is now doing well for me. It was underwater for a while, but the 96 puts, doing good, 92% profit. But this is Chinatown here. This is Smuckers, who is buying Hostess, who has Twinkies, and I love frozen Ho-Hos, but my wife won't let me eat them. Whoa, look at that. 126.96, and I've got 130s on the board. So we'll look at that tomorrow and likely roll it. They do pay a decent dividend. It's close to 3%. It's probably over 3% now because of where the stock price is. Let's take a look. So I don't mind owning it. I don't want to own it because I don't think they have an ex-dividend date coming up. If they do, I'll take it. I'll just take it at the 130. So let's go here, scorecard, to see what they're at. Are they above 3 now? Yeah, oh my gosh, they're at 3.3 because of their share price. Paying out $4, $4.24 a year, right? And they have 22 consecutive years of dividend growth. So I'm not concerned with them at all. I'll own them, and even if I take them at 130, I'll do what TJ calls it. I've always felt, the same way, but I like how he phrases it. If I take this at 130 and it's trading at 126, but it pays a dividend, I will then manufacture the win, as my new friend in options, TJ the Wheel Deal, says. And that's how I've always felt. And you saw me do that with ExxonMobil and several others. But they have ex-dividend date already happened last month. So I'll likely roll that. I'll roll that 130. But I'll need to collect some premium. You'll have to make it worth my while. Some people say wild. I don't. It's while. Because it's like time, like while time. It's like when people say nip it in the bud. In the butt. It's not butt. It's like one of my real estate agents on my team thought it was called the windshield factor. Oh my gosh, the windshield factor is going to be 30 below. Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again. The what factor? The windshield factor? Get out. You're fired. I didn't fire her. She's sweet. $53 puts on Square, 71% profit, $55 calls. So it must be right in the middle of that, which is exactly what I wanted it, or is hoping and had my fingers crossed it would do. It'd be above my strike on the put, which it is, but it is down 0.5%. So we'll keep watching that. And then be under my call also. So I would be able to keep my shares because we got a good deal on the Square shares. So we got the 55 on there. It's at 80% profit. The Tesla, that's deep, deep, deep underwater. When I'm way down in my whiskey. So Alan Jackson likes to get way down in his whiskey, and I'm way down in the money on my calls. So we are what? What did we're 248 and change. We entered that. 248.66. So that's what I paid for the 100 shares. Okay. And on the board is, so see, it's showing that I have a huge return, what I don't, because I'm at 250 right now on that trade. Right here, And I don't think I'd be able to roll it a week and collect any action on it. So let's see if it was indeed rolled a week. We have to cover 2258 debit. If we went a week out at the same, we'd have to be at the same number. We wouldn't be able to cover. Oh, wait, we're kidding yourself, right? Let's see. So yeah, we can't roll it up without paying. Now we might consider that. We'll run the numbers to see. Otherwise, we're only collecting 125 on, let's call it 24. Yeah, let's call it 24,900 based on what we paid. So 125 divided by, no, it's, how much is it? 24,800. Yeah, that's what we said. Divided by the 7 days, right? And then if we annualize that return, well, whoa, it's still 26% on Tezzy. And this is how, part of how I would then make my payment if I did decide to go in debt and borrow money from Elon would be I would be selling puts and calls on Tesla to create enough premium per month to pay my payment. So we'll take a look at Tesla tomorrow before we decide what we're going to do, because there's not enough action right there today to roll it, but that could change. What else do we have on the board? UPS should be on the board. Yeah, there it is. So we've got Square, Tesla, Unity. I put this on yesterday. Unity, we did just one contract at $36. It's above 36. I know it is, but it's volatile. So that's probably why it's showing them in the negative. Yeah, look, it's at 36.38. We may put another trade on today on Unity for next week. Looked at Unity, researched that company, like what I see. So we may do a 35 put for next week, collect some dollar bills, and then keep an eye on the 36. Because of volatility, I bet I can roll that down from 36 to 35 next week and collect a few bucks. So United Health Call is doing good at 73% profit. UPS, this was making my butt stink all week, and right now it has made a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. So it's just trading a little bit above 160, or is it higher now? Because I was looking at it. Just over 160. So we'll continue to watch it. It doesn't have an ex-dividend coming up. Is that correct? I started my little cheat sheet on ex-dividend days. Where is it with all your little papers? Yeah, UPS ex-dividend won't be until November. So we don't need to own those shares at 160 tomorrow if we can collect enough dollar bills to avoid it. You know what I'm saying? So if we keep rolling down, yeah, that's a lot of contracts, Bart. 109 contracts expiring tomorrow. UPS currently sitting pretty. It's at 40% profit. We'll have to keep an eye on it because it's real close to that strike, which will make it better for us if it is red tomorrow and real close to the 160, because we'll collect some nice dollar bills. This is the futures VIX. So this trades volatility. Currently in trouble, but we'll watch that. That needs to ride until tomorrow. Win, oh yeah, doing good on Win, is at 93%, and that'll be the last one expiring tomorrow. So that one's good. If it gets, today at the 98% range, we'll do the math to see if we need to just buy that closed and then put that cash in our pocket on the sideline collecting interest. So there is a very, very long-winded with several stories. I'll probably look at this right now as soon as I turn this video off, just to see what I want to do or not do with Gilead. But that is my update currently. Thanks for tuning in for this long-winded video. I appreciate you very, very much. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. As my original mentor told me, Mr. Rogers, he said, we all just want two things, and that is to love and to be loved. And I love you. You love me. Barney as well, one of my kids' mentors early on. With that, I better get off here before you click away. So subscribe, like, comment, share with a lovable friend, and I'll see you in the next video.